Hi, Bother Brigade. Here's what's bothering me today. So, I guess we got to talk about Kellogg's again because turns out today, Kellogg's decided instead of trying to renegotiate with their striking workers, they were just going to fire all like 1,400 or so of them and hire new workers as a really big F you to striking workers. However, as much as a lot of people are going to say, okay, great, we're all going to start boycotting Kellogg's. And yes, I agree, we absolutely should. But that's where I'm basically going to splice in a part of a previous video I did when these strikes first started happening to remind people of easier said than done. The Kellogg's empire is actually pretty disturbingly massive. So let's go through it. I know people are thinking, great, I just got to walk past the Kellogg's brands in the cereal aisle and everything's fine, right? It's a little more complicated than that precisely because of capitalism. So if we want to show solidarity with basically nearly all of their workers voting to go on strike, which again, power to ya, but it goes well beyond some breakfast cereal. If we want to be serious about showing solidarity with striking workers and just really sticking it to Kellogg's bottom line in the process, we then need to pretty much boycott, and there's probably even more on top of this, but just as some examples, All Brand, Apple Jacks, Austin, Bare Naked, Cars, Cheez-Its, Club, Corn Pops, Cracklin' Oat Brand, Crispix, Eggos, Fruit Loops, Frosted Mini Wheats, Garden Burger, Honey Smacks, Incognito, Joy Bowl, Jumbo Snacks, Kashi Foods, anything under that label. Frosted Flakes, they're apparently not so great. Cornflakes, Frozen Breakfast, Raisin Bran, Crave, Morningstar Farms, Mueslix, Nutri-Grain, Pop-Tarts, Pringles, Pure Organic, Rice Krispies, Smart Start, S'mores, Toasteds, Townhouse, and Zesta. Now, as a Canadian, there's actually a weird number of those brands that I am not familiar with at all. But the main point is this goes well beyond some breakfast cereal. And it's not just from the Kellogg's brand. You see things like Kashi Foods under there. They've been bought by Kellogg's. So, and if you're someone who likes Pringles, which I mean, those things are tasty, but if you want to support the boycott, can't have that. This is part of the insidious nature of capitalism, where a company gets so big and is allowed to basically run amok throughout the quote-unquote free market. They can just buy up smaller corporations and not necessarily apply them, because the big thing that a lot of corporations love to do is they have their brands that are separate corporations, but there's an overarching corporation that has some dumb name like the E1 Investment Group. And that is the corporation that actually owns everything. And so while we may think, okay, it says Kellogg's on it, go, put it down. It's far more complicated than that. So I'm hoping people find this list very helpful. I know I certainly did upon learning about it. But it really shows just how massive the Kellogg's empire is and has been allowed to grow basically to this terrible point. And no doubt corporations hope that we remain ignorant to this so that we think, oh, I only need to boycott this brand, and then we happily buy other brands that they technically own. And so the people who have investments in this company are laughing all the way to the bank because, oh man, we're still making so much money. This is why it is so crucial to have a diverse investment portfolio. And so we need to be very careful and also very aware of all the different little pies that Kellogg's has their fingers in, because only by boycotting all of these can we truly send a really strong message. But unfortunately, many of us aren't even aware of some of these brands. And again, I'm part of this. I wasn't aware that Kellogg's owned like 5 or so of these brands until making this video. That's a problem and it needs to be addressed. And it is definitely what's bothering me today.